or something. But or maybe you just show some old Stidham highlights. Y'all been talking about him a lot. Let's put something else on there. And then for Alabama, let's get a running back that's been here in the last couple of years. I love Derrick Henry. Love him. Thank you. Appreciate him. Follow him with the Titans. It's time for a new highlight. And I'm also going to give a shout out to our usual host, Andy Graham. And I don't know what the man has to do to get into our opening credits. But he hadn't gotten there yet, and so he's just started opening with, I guess I'm guest hosting again. He has turned into the Joan Rivers. He's Joan Rivers to our Johnny Carson show. Like he really is the host. If you don't remember, like she hosted a lot.
Yeah.
But he needs his.
You're
own
aging
opening.
Yourself, Luke.
Me?
You're watching this
I'm
in
not
your old waterbed.
as old as Joan Rivers. I'm just saying. I remember when she was on the show.
This is in that waterbed
Is
downstairs.
For those who don't know, I had a waterbed in my room. I had a sauna in my room because it was kind of the adult playroom. I shouldn't have said that.
Oh,
I had a fireplace in my room. I had a slot machine and a pinball machine in my room.
Did you have Tiger Woods' bedroom? That's all I can have going through my mind today.
Tiger Woods was in the news today, and he should be. And it should be the headlines. It's a big headline.
800-782-0108, 256-234-6221 is our phone number, and we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in to Sportz Blitz Live as we head into our 12th season.
I think that's right.
12th football season, and it's an exciting time. And we held off to the end to the SEC championship game participants last year, and for the last couple of years. Alabama, and we'll hopefully catch up with Eli Gold at 7:30 tonight. Mick Hubert will be on in the second hour of the program with us to talk some Florida Gators football. Do you not get tired of this? You keep ranting. Don't get tired of this, Alabama fans.
No,
Just
I'm not
learn
tired
to
of
love it.
Let me tell you, last night for the Lake Martin Bama Club, we had athletic director Greg Byrne in, and he really is good. I mean, look, I'll tell the truth, he didn't exactly drop a lot of knowledge on us last night. He couldn't be there very long, but just having him there and seeing how energetic he was about being with the program. He's a younger guy. He's younger. He's probably around your age, maybe even a little younger. But he's 6'6", tall guy. And he played college basketball. His kids still go to Arizona, but he's mentioned they're carrying around Alabama backpacks. And he's really familiar, obviously, with the football program. And I think he knows that's where the bread is buttered. It's not just where the bread is buttered. It's where it's bought. It's where it's toasted. It's all those things. Now, everything else is nice. I mean, the basketball program is great, and I love Avery Johnson. He does too, and he was instrumental in helping get Alabama and Arizona in that home-and-home matchup where they're going to have in basketball. He talked about women's basketball just a minute, talked about baseball just a minute last night, just enough. That's all we wanted to hear. But he's also doing things like helping to get the Alabama-Miami game in Atlanta, which looks like that will happen. There's also going to be another game probably in Arlington, probably with a UCLA, USC type in 2020. So, I mean, he's doing some big things. He still knows what's up, and he's been very honest about neutral site games, saying, look, I know a lot of people like home and home. I know they do. I get it. That's what college football was built on for a long time. It's new times. Alabama makes a lot more money when they go to Arlington than they do when they play at home, when they have to pay somebody to come into Tuscaloosa. Or if they bring in Ohio State one year and then go to Ohio State the next year and make nothing. You know, they make more money going to a neutral site every year, consistent money, than they would if they swap out a home and home. So, and all that makes sense to me. And frankly, I'm a big fan of the neutral site games. I like them a lot.
Big turnout last night, though.
We had about 150. And that's good for a very orange and blue community.
Yeah.
We had a very nice turnout. The Auburn Lake Martin Club, I'll give them a shout out too. They had Gus Malzahn speak earlier this summer. You were there, I think?
Yeah, I was.
And they had at least 150, right? I mean,
we did, but back to y'all's last night, though, this is several years that anything that y'all put on, you have a big turnout. And I think that speaks volumes about this community. Not only is it's usually orange and blue. I'd say it's 60-40, which is a massive difference from the rest of the state.
True.
But nonetheless, there's a lot of big benefactors out there here for Alabama, and y'all have been able to put not only a lot of money back that is going out to scholarships. Can you talk about that just a bit, though, because I read that in the paper today.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal for everybody to give back to either the Lake Martin Bama Club, or Lake Martin Auburn Club. And what it does, if you contribute to those two organizations, you will be helping students from our area. That's BRHS, that's Dadeville, that's Horseshoe Bend, Elmore County, all those schools and a couple of others that anybody from there, we will be able to give them scholarships. Now, we need a certain benchmark before we can designate a scholarship, but if you give money to those organizations, we will in turn turn around and give some of that money back. Now, I know in Alabama's case, I can't speak as much about Auburn. I don't know what their situation is. I know in Alabama's case, a lot of times, if we give, as a club, say $10,000 or $15,000 for the year towards a scholarship, the university will match that. And so they will give that much back. So we'll have that much more to give out in a scholarship. And I know the Lake Martin Bama Club has endowed over $200,000. And so that money stays in the kitty, and the interest keeps piling up, and we keep being able to give out scholarships. And if you have anybody that you would like to give a scholarship in their name, please let us know. I mean, we have the Buddy King Scholarship. He's been instrumental in getting the Lake Martin Bama Club back up and running. The Willie Carl Martin Scholarship, obviously somebody pretty famous from these parts. And John and Nancy Hodges Scholarship now. So we have several scholarships set up for folks, and we can break it out. We could have $2,000 from one scholarship that we could give out in any given year, maybe, as an example, and we can give $700 to this person and $1,300 to this person, or you can break it up. And it's a great thing. It gives kids who may not otherwise have an opportunity to go to Alabama or Auburn a chance to go there and a chance to excel, and hopefully they will come back to our community and contribute.
About 5 more minutes here on the opening segment. We'll move in talking Alabama football and Alabama athletics as a whole here in the next segment. But high school football getting started, Luke. We're over in Montgomery today. Take a little bit of time to talk about that as they had media days at the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Michael Forehand and myself went over and covered that. We've got the scoreboard show really getting in gear this Friday night, Luke. You'll be on the road on Thursday night as well, covering 2 of the best teams in the state of Alabama in Fife and Maplesville. Maplesville's won 3 in concession state titles there in Class 1A. Fife, 2 of the last 3 state championships in Class 2A. Both were undefeated last year. They'll be playing one another in the Thursday night game. Pell City will take on a very rough and rugged Hewitt-Trussville team that's got one of the top offensive linemen in the state of Alabama. They've got one of the top coaches in the state as well, as he has moved over from the state of Arkansas and been successful here in the state of Alabama. We were able to hear from him. So 2 big games with Keith Etheridge coaching at Pell City and what Hewitt-Trussville's been able to put together last year and in the years to come. We're looking forward to it, Luke.
Well, I'm really the Hewitt-Trussville is the story, I think, out of this. Now, none of these games are going to count in the records, but they still treat it like a real game. It's sort of a jamboree, but maybe a tick above a jamboree. Hewitt-Trussville, though, is one of those teams to me. If Hoover is not in 7A, I know Hewitt-Trussville comes out ranked number 4 in the state. I don't know how people don't favor them. They got Pierce Quick along the offensive line, who's already committed to Alabama as a junior. You got Daslin Worsham, who is, a lot of people believe, is the top prospect in the state of Alabama for 2020. He's a sophomore, obviously. You got Miles Mason, who is a safety prospect, who has offers from Clemson and Alabama and Auburn and LSU and blah, blah, blah. They've just got, and then they got Paul Tyson, the quarterback, who's a grandson of Paul Bear Bryant, who also will be getting a lot of offers. Just an amazing collection of talent. They're going to be throwing it all over the place. They're going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the fun part with them is you've seen the receiver head off to Auburn this year and a lot of the buzz around him. Not only was he a great football player at Hewitt last year, but his athleticism on the track and field has got Auburn a buzz right now that he'll see some early playing time and just throwing the football around.
Yep.
Playing that type of offensive brand that's fun to watch and fun to build on. They lose real late last year in the second round of the playoffs, so very close to making it to a state title run. Did they lose to Hoover in that second round? They were undefeated in the regular season.
No, it wasn't Hoover. It was somebody else, and it was an upset. I can't recall right off the top of my head, but it was one of those where I thought they would go a little further because they had all the talent then, but now I feel like they're loaded for bear. This is a team that's going to give the likes of Hoover all they want.
256-234-6221 is our phone number. We'll go ahead and take our first break here on Sports Blitz Live. When we come back, we'll move in. Alabama preview. Also have Florida in the second hour. Catch up with Eli Gold at 7:25, 7:30. Looking forward to that. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime at the all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Every new and pre-owned vehicle, just $1 down. Plus credit amnesty. Bring home $350 a week, get up to $30,000 in credit.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime.
10 acres, 1,000 vehicles, just $1 down.
Folks, you've just got to see this place.
The all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Call 800-NEXT-RIDE.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Ready to put some fun in your life? Whether it's Central or East Alabama, North Alabama, West Georgia, or wherever you're from, Fun Carts of Opelika is your authorized easy-go kart dealer that has no limits on a perfect easy-go kart. Whether it's a fully customized kart or a stock-made kart, we'll deliver it on time and at the best price. Fun Carts gives you the service after the sale, so no matter if it's hunting, tailgating, motorhoming, fleet rental, or just a better way to get around, Fun Carts of Opelika has it and will customize it to your needs. Visit us in Opelika or call us or visit online for the best easy-go karts. Put a little fun in your life with Fun Carts of Opelika.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loans. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Bice Motors in Alexander City. Brian and his crew offer the latest lines of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, as well as the best used inventory around. Guaranteed lowest price. Bice.
Alabama preview, Luke, as we're moving in and closing out our college football SEC preview. We'll have Florida in the second hour as well, but just looking down the scores from the 2016 season. Outside of that national championship game and the LSU game that was 10-0, this was a runaway type of season for Alabama last year. I know you don't look at it that way, but Luke, when you think back and you look at these score lines, wonderful team, other than that third game against Ole Miss too, I guess.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I do look at it that way. I mean, I'm a guy that still values SEC championships. I think that's what separates football from like basketball. And where it seems like a conference championship doesn't mean much unless you go real deep into the tournament. I don't feel that way about football. Like, I still value SEC championships. I also value the fact that Alabama's the first team in history to beat 9 ranked teams in one season. That's a pretty big deal. And if they'd beaten Clemson, it would have been 10. I mean, that's incredible when you play 15 games and 10 of them are ranked. That's ridiculous. It's a tough schedule. But you're right. I mean, there was a stretch in here where Alabama gave up 0 points, 3 points, 3 points, 12 points to Auburn, and then 16 points to Florida. And Florida got 7 of those points on the opening drive, which they just shocked everybody, and then another 7 points on a blocked field goal return. Well, actually, I take that back. That's not when they got their other 7 points. They got 2 points on that. Excuse me. Don't even quote me on that. But they went 4 games without giving up a touchdown. That's just sick in this day and age, and I don't really much care who you're playing. If you're in the SEC, 1 of those, 2 of those, 3 of those teams were SEC teams. And one of them had Nick Fitzgerald at quarterback, who a lot of people think may be first team All-SEC over Jalen Hurts. So, yeah, I mean, I still value last year. I mean, I hate that we lost with a second or 2 to go, but that's the way the ball bounces. And Clemson had a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback, and congratulations to them.
A little preview show here as an Auburn fan sitting over here throwing questions at you, and me not being one that sits on and listens in to talk radio all day, Luke. So if I ask some questions that are just hit on constantly, maybe that's good for many others that are out there like us. Passing game last year, 88th in the country, passing for 210 yards per game, which was good for number 8 in the SEC. Has to get better this year. Jalen Hurts has been in the news. Looks strong, has had a great summer throwing the football, has been being pushed from the back as well from an incoming freshman. Just talk about the quarterback position, talk about the passing game in general for Alabama.
Well, I think, yeah, he was not the most prolific passer in Alabama history, but I think people forget that he was a true freshman. And typically, true freshmen do hit a wall. Give Jalen a lot of credit because he had to play 15 games. A lot of true freshmen don't have to play 15 games either, especially as the leader of the wire-to-wire number 1 team until the very last seconds of the season. But I think the passing game definitely does have to get better. I would still say last year there was some discontent with Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin and Ed Orgeron have both admitted that, look, I was headed to LSU, and so that had to have some consternation effect on the offense, I think, towards the end of the season. And it really showed in the offensive balance and what was going on. I thought that, for instance, also the national championship game, there were times when we passed when we should have run. In fact, we were 87th in passing last year. I would have been happier if we had finished 95th and run the ball more against Clemson, frankly. But, look, I think we will be better this year. You've got Calvin Ridley coming back. He's one of the more dependable receivers. If you remember, too, in, let's say, Amari Cooper's career, he had an unbelievable freshman year, and then a good sophomore year, not great one, but he battled some injuries, had some other things going on, and then in the junior year, he exploded. I feel like Calvin Ridley can do that too. This group of freshman wide receivers coming in, Jerry Jeudy was the talk of A-Day. He was fantastic, 2 touchdowns, looked great, but the guy that's been killing it in fall is Devontae Smith out of Louisiana, and they say he's just got the best hands on the team. He's silky smooth, but I want to see him do it in a game. I'm not going to fall into the trap of this guy's awesome because everybody tells me he's awesome. I got to see him do it in a game, but the early reports are good.
Do the rest of the country feel like this Alabama offensive line's the best unit in college football this year?
If they don't, they should. I don't see how there is a better one, and I'm looking ahead to 2018, but I think 2018 could be better than this one. One thing that's going to stand out along the offensive line is we may see a lot of true freshmen play there, Alex Leatherwood, but this Jedrick Wills kid out of Kentucky who was a 5-star on some services, 4-star on others, and I liked him, but I thought, okay, 5-star may be a little crazy, especially for an offensive lineman from Kentucky. I'm not sure about the competition. I am told by incredible sources that had he been an early enrollee, he would be starting, and there's no doubt about it. Now, he wasn't an early enrollee, so he starts in the fall, and he is pushing Matt Womack as hard as he can push him. And, in fact, it will be an upset at this point if Will's in the starter by, say, game 3 or game 4, if not game 1.
Incoming freshman quarterback. Does he get snaps? We do expect him to get meaningful snaps. Is that the story going in?
Well, I mean, I think out of necessity more than anything, Tua Tagovailoa.
I
believe I'm saying that right. I'm just going to go with Tua T. I've been saying that for a while. I think Tua T is a cool nickname, patent pending. But I think that he's got to get snaps simply because we don't have a backup now. Everybody that's a backup is transferred. And ironically, everybody that transferred looking for a starting position is now a backup themselves. Cooper Bateman is third team at Utah. And Blake Barnett has not been able to win the starting job at Arizona State. So I think this has actually worked out well for Alabama because I would not have felt real comfortable with any of those guys. If they can't win the job at those schools, they probably don't need to be quarterback in Alabama. Tua is a true freshman. He's going to have some growing pains, but he's going to have to be out there. He's going to have to be out there in some meaningful capacity. I don't know necessarily if that means Florida State, but I think in the second game and in the third game against Colorado State and Fresno State, which aren't meaningful games, Alabama should win them, but it's not Mercer either. So I feel like he can get out there and throw it around to get some Division I legitimate talent, and he's just going to have some experience because things happen, especially to running quarterbacks.
Let's close out offensive talk with kicking game. If there's been one negative, looking in at Alabama, it's just been the up and down performance kicking the football. Talk about that this year, not punting the football. By no stretch am I talking about that. But and when it's good, it's really good. You know, if you think back to 2 years ago at Auburn, kicking was exceptional. And what, he hit 5 or 6 field goals against Auburn that afternoon, all of them right down the middle, and just had it going. But then last year, there were points in time where you go, man, it's just not very good. So I know we're up against a break. But
well, think about how many more games Alabama would have won. I can think of at least 3 Alabama would have won if they had a decent field goal kicker over these years. And 3 big ones. 2013 Auburn just sticks out like a sore thumb. If Alabama had a kicker that game, they win that game, they go on to play for a national championship, and I think they win it. But it is what it is. And Alabama, that's been the Achilles heel. If nothing else, people love to point to Alabama's not having a prolific passer. I think it's all about field goal kicking, because if you can give this team points every trip, and I think if they had a good kicker, that's about how it'd be, then you're going to have a hard time because the defense is so incredible. But the kicking game is scary right now. I'm going to tell the truth. I think it was better this last scrimmage, according to a couple of folks that were there. There were some better moments for the kickers, but it's not pretty. It ain't Daniel Carlson back there. It ain't Van Tiffen back there. It may not even be Adam Griffith back there. So Alabama's going to have some issues in there again.
Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, hopefully Eli Gold will catch up with us, and we'll take your phone calls, 256-234-6221. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
If you've ever wanted a Lexus, now is your opportunity at the Reinhardt Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, the time of the year to get savings on the Lexus you want. With extra inventory, the selection is better than ever on the most popular models. Save thousands with low monthly payments and special financing. Get 0% APR on the ES for 60 months. At Reinhardt Lexus, an opportunity like this only knocks once a year. So find your Lexus today at Reinhardt Lexus, where you'll feel like family.
Main Street Family Urgent Care.
Relief has a new address in Alexander City. Main Street Family Urgent Care is now open across from Walmart on Highway 280. From cuts, broken bones, strep throat, and flu, they can help you heal and feel better fast. Open 8 to 8 Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 on Saturday, and 1 to 6 on Sunday.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
TPE Power Equipment is now the trusted name for all your mower and power equipment needs. Whether it's our original Tallahassee location or Opelika location on Fredericks Road, we've got East Alabama covered with the best brands of mowers and power equipment from Husqvarna, Toro, Kawasaki, Echo, and Honda. Right now, get commercial strength Husqvarna zero-turn mowers with our fleet program that offers deep discounts, easy finance, and bonus handheld equipment in one solid package. TPE of Opelika and Tallahassee are the new standard of everything power equipment in East Alabama.
Homeowners all over Alabama have discovered that when you need your flooring clean, whether it's carpet, upholstery, or any manner of hard surfaces, there's no clean like Peaches and Clean. Serving Auburn, the Chattahoochee Valley, Montgomery, Birmingham, and the Lake Martin area. Call 866-837-6937. 866-837-6937. Or visit peachesandclean.com. Caring for your floor and a whole lot more.
Heads up, we're going back to 77. Disco, bell-bottoms, and Ford F-Series starts its epic run as the best-selling trucks in America. Fast forward to 2017, F-Series is still king for 40 straight years. How? Rock-solid durability, up to the nanosecond technology, and jaw-dropping capability. No wonder the competition hasn't been number one since these. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 40 straight years.
Bucks Island is one of the oldest boat dealers in Alabama, serving boaters since 1948 with the largest boat showroom in the state. Bass boats featuring Skeeter, cruisers and sport boats featuring Monterey, pontoons featuring Crest, G3 and Voyagers, powered by Mercury and Yamaha. Bucks Island has sold over 10,000 boats and with a full service and parts and accessories department to keep your boat in top condition. Don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote. Visit Bucks Island on Highway 77 in Southside or online at bucksisland.com. Give them a call at 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island, where our number one product is customer satisfaction.
Want to welcome in now Eli Gold, the voice of the Crimson Tide. Eli's got the best seat in the house just about every week for every Alabama game, and he's been calling games since 1988. Eli, how you doing tonight?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
Doing fantastic, and thanks so much for being with us. Really quickly, I want to start out by saying last night for our Lake Martin Bama Club, we had Athletic Director Greg Byrne come to speak to us. Have you had a chance to get to know him a lot better since he's joined the Crimson Tide?
Oh, yeah. He and I have had a number of meetings. We've done a lot of stuff together. As a matter of fact, he's also going to be on a radio show with me on Thursday night, and then we're speaking together at a function in Columbus, Georgia next week. So, yeah, he's a great guy, and he's going to do a wonderful job. He really is.
And he's clocking in at about 6'6", so maybe we could get him to walk on the basketball team if he's got any eligibility left.
He is a tall guy. He sure is.
So let's go into football. First of all, you may be the first person I thought of when I saw Alabama was in negotiations to play Miami in 2021, because I was thinking how great that would be for you to have called that Miami game back in '92, and maybe in 2021 get to call another Alabama-Miami game. Would you be really looking forward to that one?
Well, I look forward to every game. You know, the opponent doesn't matter. I look forward, like the fans do, to every single game. So, I've done repeat performances against a number of opponents already, and yeah, so it'll be a great game if it comes about. It's what transpired in '92 really has obviously no relation to what might transpire in 2021. But yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be another great game for Alabama fans to enjoy.
So let's focus in on this year's team. Based on practices so far this fall, who would you say would be the most surprising player to really have a breakout year on the offense and defensive side?
Well, that's not for me to say, and I'm not dodging your question, but what I feel has no bearing upon reality. It's what Coach Saban and the coaching staff feel. There's a ton of talent on that football team. The fans are going to enjoy watching the wide receiver Jerry Jeudy. He has a wonderful pair of hands. Obviously, they're going to enjoy Najee Harris when he gets in at the running back spot. They're going to enjoy, watching some of the new defensive linemen and so on. But for me to single out any one or two people would be an absolute mistake on my part. That's not my job.
Well, let's talk about how it is to be the play-by-play announcer for Alabama. Look, everybody loves to talk about fall practice and how many hours Nick Saban puts in at the offices. But I bet you've been studying up on Florida State and Colorado State and Fresno State and on into the night for, I'm going to say, several weeks, if not months now, right?
Well, I have done some. I am really, at this point, other than opening up the media guides once for Fresno State and once for Colorado State, I really have done no prep for them whatsoever. I am working already on Florida State, and obviously I have gone to a number of Bama practices and scrimmages. I'll be back on the practice field tomorrow. And what I do is not so much to watch the X's and O's. What I do is to make sure I memorize these names and numbers of the newcomers and make sure that when I see number 93 this year, I don't call the name of the guy who wore 93 last year. And I also look at how these guys look on the field. I'll watch the practice or the scrimmages from upstairs, from the vantage point that I'm going to have on game day. So, I can tell, which guy has a little bit of hair hanging out of the back of his helmet, or which guy stands a little differently, which guy does this and which guy does that. Because, sometimes, because of all the people on the field, a guy, you may not be able to see his number for whatever reason. Not the front, not the back. Maybe he's tucked down behind some big guys and you can't even see the number on the helmet. Well, you need to be able to recognize these people. And when they're all standing there in their uniforms with their helmets on, obviously there's scant little on which to go sometimes. So, I study what these guys look like, how they run, how they throw, stuff of that nature. But yes, it's a lot of preparation, but I'm like everybody else. I prepare for this first game, and then when I get back after, I get back the next day after the Florida State game, that's when I'll pick up my notes and start preparing for Fresno State. I'm not going to clutter my brain with all of that stuff right now.
Is there any team Alabama hasn't played in maybe some time that you would like to see the Crimson Tide schedule?
Oh, I don't know. I always enjoyed the Penn State series. And of course, it hasn't been that long since Bama played Penn State. But the fans so respected one another. The fan bases from both schools just respected the other team so much that was very nice to see. So that was always a pleasant, a big game, but with two fan bases that were totally respectful of the other group. So, that's one that comes to mind immediately. I don't, nothing else comes to mind instantly that, that really jumps out at me.
Your partner in the booth, Phil Savage, obviously has his hands in a lot of the college football world, and he is with the Senior Bowl. I hear him on Sirius XM all the time. What's it like sitting with him each Saturday to go over the Crimson Tide games?
Well, he's forgotten more football than I'll ever know. And, you're sitting there with a former general manager of a National Football League team. So, the man is very, very good and, has the ability to analyze games. And like any good color analyst, number one, he has to, A, know what he's talking about. Number two, he has to be able to, he sees the game at a far different level than I do. I mean, and you, I would dare say, and most of our listeners. He is, these guys see stuff that the normal folks don't. And for him to get that to, I don't want to say dumb it down, but get it to a level where we can all understand it, and then spit it out in about 8 or 9, 10 seconds, it's not easy to do. So he does a wonderful job in that regard.
Well, Eli, you are one of the best in the biz. We really appreciate your being with us tonight and look forward to hearing you call the game in the new Mercedes Dome in Atlanta next Saturday night.
Well, you're very kind. It's great to be on with you. And, yeah, we're all we're all football fans just like you guys are. So I'm ready to see Bama out there against somebody else. And it's going to be a tough ball game. Florida State's very good, but Alabama's pretty darn good themselves.
It's going to be a classic, I believe. So maybe I'll get to see you over there, Eli. Have a great night, okay?
Thanks a lot. Good to be on with you.
That was Eli Gold, the play-by-play voice of the Crimson Tide. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.
If you've been putting off that new heating and air unit in your home because of the upfront expenses, Williams Plumbing of Alexander City now has primary financing from Synchrony and can now install brand new heating and cooling systems with zero down, longer terms, and a competitive rate. Call Williams Plumbing at 256-329-8488 and get a free quote and terms and upgrade up to $35,000 in work with approved credit. Williams Plumbing stands behind their work with on-time affordable service for all your heating and air needs, as well as plumbing for zero down financing and great service. Williams Plumbing.
When enjoying the lake this season, make sure to drop by Harbor Point Marina for all your gas, snacks, boating supplies, and beverage needs. Harbor Point also wants you to come see our remaining 2017 Crest pontoons, priced to move at all-season pricing. Harbor Point Crest sales have been tremendous, and they're ready to unload their remaining 2017 Crest Tritoons to make way for the 2018 order. Come see the best in pontoons at our 2017 season closeout prices. Act now because inventory is limited, and enjoy your new Crest pontoon this year. For all your own water needs and sacrifice pricing on Crest pontoons, get to the point. Harbor Point at Still Waters on Lake Martin.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your expressway to saving.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace. Smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Summertime means savings time during the summer clearance event at Bice Motors. Save over $8,200 on a great selection of loaded new 2017 Chrysler 200 Limiteds. Was $25,705, now $17,500. Need a truck? Bice has new 2017 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Express 4x2s for $299 a month.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Don't miss the summer clearance event going on now. BiceChryslerDodge.com.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Dark Insurance, offering insurance for all your personal needs, including auto, boat, homeowners, and disability. Don't be in the dark. Call Dark Insurance at 256-234-5026.
Thanks again to Eli Gold for catching up with us there, and enjoyed that, Luke. Even as an Auburn fan sitting in there listening, you can tell talent when you hear it. He's got it all in his voice, does a tremendous job for Alabama. I will say with Phil as his color, it adds a lot. And that's me sitting here as an outsider and one that does color and like to hear someone with a little personality but add something to the broadcast. And Phil Savage is about as good as you can get.
Yeah, and look, Eli's very good too. He's so articulate, and he's got a great vocabulary, and in fact, it goes over some people's heads sometimes. That has been a complaint in the past, but I think he's fantastic. And then to have Phil Savage there, look, I know it's Alabama, and I know that in this state sometimes we like people a little more down to earth and a little bit country fried, but Phil Savage is just enough of that while being extraordinarily smart about the game of football and life in general. But he can, I think Eli articulated it very well, that he can make something that is very complicated or that other people can't see a very visual thing for the general audience And you have to do this all in about 4 to 8 seconds, depending. And so it takes a real talent to do that. And Savage has been all over Sirius XM. I've heard him. So he co-hosts a show occasionally, and he's just so well-rounded when it comes to the game of football specifically, and it's just a lot of fun to listen to.
I tell you, another thing I really like about him, he sounds like he's got a smile on his face all the time.
He does.
And that makes us Southerners like him. Even if he doesn't talk quite as country as I do, nonetheless, just the idea that he seems like he's having a wonderful time.
Well, and look, I love high school homers, okay?
Yeah.
You guys, I love listening to you and Brett. But I like it even when people take it up a notch, when they just high school homers and everything, the other team's always cheating and the officials are always against us and all that stuff. I like that. I don't like it from college up.
Yeah.
So, no offense, Stan White, he can get pretty homerific. I don't feel like Phil Savage, the only time I've heard him get sort of homerish is when he said make a man miss with TJ Yeldon in LSU. I think that was in 2012. And that's about as homerific as he's going to get. Now, some people like college football to be more Doug Layton, and that, I don't. I'm more professional when it comes to those levels. I mean, I want to know who you're cheering for, but I don't want it to be so obvious that it is a little bit sickening.
And we'll keep it here, and I'll go a couple of more minutes just talking broadcaster talk. I was kind of hoping that you'd say something about Kenny Stabler, though, and because that he was my favorite. Because he had personality oozing out of every pore, and that comes through on the mic, especially during a ball game. So he was always my favorite. He ends up getting kicked off the broadcast team at some point. I don't even remember the story, but nonetheless, he had to have been one of Eli's favorites, too.
There's no doubt. And, I mean, he did bring a different personality to it that was just, you can't describe it. Kenny Stabler was 1 in a million, or 1 in a billion. There just aren't people like him. Eli told a story one time when I heard him speak that they were all sitting around at a bar, and the bartender calls at about midnight, and the bartender calls out last call. So Kenny Stabler stands up, takes the drink that was in his hand, and throws it against the wall. Glass shatters, everything goes nuts, and everybody thought he was just mad. And they said, what are you doing? He said, well, the clock was running out. I had to stop it. Had to stop the clock. And that's, it's just instinctual, I guess. And I guess he would have thrown it left-handed. But it's just funny stuff like that. Like, who thinks of that? But personally, I prefer a Phil Savage. I like Kenny Stabler. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean I don't like him. I'm just saying, for instance, he never got Salim Rashid's name right. What chance would he have with Tua Tagovailoa? What chance would he have? There'd be no shot. And so, while that's funny, I think we're in an age of Alabama football where people want you to get the name right.
Let's go ahead and take another break. 256-234-6221 is our phone number. We come back, we'll talk Alabama defense, close out this Alabama Blitz segment of the program, and move into Florida, where we'll catch up with Mick Hubert in the second hour of the program at 8 o'clock. Luke will talk with him as I will exit stage left again and let them two catch up on Florida Gators football. More Sports Blitz live right after this.
Why buy your next car from Lynch Nissan of Auburn?
U.S. AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, U.S. AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else. Craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the U.S. AmeriBank difference. U.S. AmeriBank. Banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Jewelry by Design is Auburn's premier jeweler for over 20 years. Mark and Tammy Nelson invite you to see their unique selection of engagement rings, each crafted to be a one-of-a-kind masterpiece, custom designed with only natural premium diamonds that are never enhanced. Jewelry by Design is also your officially licensed Auburn University jeweler that handcrafts all of their Auburn jewelry, as unique as your passion for the Auburn Tigers. For jewelry that's crafted to your style, visit Jewelry by Design on Dean Road in Auburn or online at jewelrybydesignauburn.com.
If you had $6,000, how would you spend it?
I'd pay bills.
How about a new car? Vacation!
At Hyundai of Auburn today, you can get the new car and do the other things.
What? How?
Pick out your dream car and drive away with as much as $6,000 to spend however you'd like.
America's best warranty and $6,000?
Luxury and $6,000.
Be thinking how to spend your $6,000. HyundaiofAuburn.com.
Vacation!
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life. Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17 season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-Tune with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin. This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Satterfield on Highway 280 in Alex City. Satterfield is the Lake Martin area's Big Green Egg and Accessories headquarters.
I looked down these defensive stats for Alabama last year, and the one thing that really jumps out to me is the pressure that was put on up front, the tackles for loss, the sacks last year, Luke. You lose some key contributors like Jonathan Allen from that. But a ton of talent coming back, as well as a ton of new talent that we'll probably see on the field much more this year.
Yeah, I really like Raekwon Davis. We saw him at the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, and he is a monster human being. And look, he didn't exactly have a breakout freshman year, but I like the potential there a lot. Again, though, Alabama is replacing a Tim Williams and a Jonathan Allen. I mean, it's not going to be easy. And a Ryan Anderson. You know, these are all household names that are already making waves. They've all had a sack so far. All three of those guys have at least had one sack in the preseason in the NFL so far. So that tells you about the kind of guys Alabama's lost, along with like the likes of a Marlon Humphrey. It's not going to be easy. And the one thing that would scare me, the most valuable player on this team, and this is without a doubt, and I believed this myself before I heard it with anybody with connections, but I can tell you everybody believes this, and that's Minkah Fitzpatrick. Minkah Fitzpatrick is easily the most valuable player on this team this year. I'm talking about over Jalen Hurts, over Bo Scarborough, over Jonah Williams. Name somebody. It's Minkah. He's the one that calls the defense. He's the leader of the defense. He's the most dynamic player on the defense, which is probably the best unit in the country. And then I think, my own personal opinion, the second most valuable player on Alabama's team is J.K. Scott. I think he's the best punter in the country. I know AP had him second team. I don't know what they're watching, but I think he is just an absolute weapon. And he has been that way since he's been at Alabama. All he does is boom kicks. He rarely has a shank. And the thing about Alabama, they don't punt that often, but when they do punt, it's an awesome punt. And it's because of J.K. Scott.
Let's keep it here in the Lake Martin community. Anthony Jennings, a lot of playing time for him last year, but looks like he'll get even more this year.
Yeah, he is going to be a guy people will get to know very, very quickly, I think. He is fast. I think he blocked the punt last year against Florida in the SEC championship game. Or no, I don't think he blocked the punt, excuse me. I think he stopped a fake punt That's what he did. And he's just got a knack for the ball. I think we've known him to be that kind of a versatile player since he was at Dadeville, and I'm looking forward to him being a star this year.
256-234-6221 is our phone number. Love to hear from you out there. We'll go ahead and take a phone call. Caller, you're on Sportz Blitz.
Good afternoon. How you gentlemen doing?
We're good. Glad to have you.
Well, I've been watching Sportz Blitz up here in beautiful Lake Martin, Alabama for the last couple of months, and I have been tuning into y'all's program, and I find your program very entertaining, and you two gentlemen have a lot of knowledge towards the football seasons, and I just want to call you and give you my 2 cents for it.
Well, we'd love to hear it. So you an Auburn or an Alabama fan?
Well, I'm an Alabama fan, and hey, all the people who are trying to knock Bama down from Florida State, Clemson, USC, it ain't going to happen. Because Nick Saban reloads, not every year, but every 2 or 3 years. Alabama has got 3, 4, 5-star defensive, offensive players, all positions. Until Nick Saban decides to say goodbye, he will be the king of NCAA football. Enough said. So, if we can keep talking about what other teams can do, but we don't see what Bama will do.
Luke, sounds like your article.
Yeah, I am right there with you. In fact, the only thing I disagree about is Alabama does reload every year. It's not every 2 or 3 years. Look, for the 10th straight year, Alabama has been ranked number 1 in the AP poll at some point. That's a record that just you won't see again. This is it. You are in the moment. You are in, everybody talks about the one shining moment. This is that shining moment. So soak it in. Hey, look, call up and brag. I dig it.
Well, let me give you another 2 cents worth about the polls.
Okay.
Well, if the polls were correct, they would not have to change them every week. No, would they?
No, that's true, and I see what you're saying, okay? And you make a good point. You're essentially saying that polls are effectively useless. But we are in a time...
Especially they are. But it gives you a starting point, and I do agree to the sports writers to a certain degree, but they are sports writers, and there's about 38% of them that actually played the game or coached the game. The rest of them are just... journalists and people with knowledge of football, and hey, I appreciate them. It gives us magazines to read, it gives us talking points, and the rest of us who work a 9 to 5 or a 6 to 6 gives us something to look and talk and point fingers and gives us some water fountain conversations. But for the last 2 years, if you want to win a national championship, you're going to have to beat Alabama to do it. Can I get an amen?
You can get an amen from me. I appreciate it, bud. Hey, thanks so much for calling in.
I enjoy your show.
Thank you. But, look, a lot of people don't like polls, and I get sort of tired of people knocking them because here's the thing. It's not as though the NCAA is controlling these things. The AP wants to rank. We live in a time when everybody ranks everything. When you go to any website, chances are somebody's ranking something on it. You go to CNN or Fox News, they'll have some rankings of most popular vacation spots, or spots where they hate Donald Trump the most, or spots where they hate Hillary Clinton the most, and they'll have them all ranked. And they do the same thing with college football. They'll rank the quarterbacks for college football. They'll rank the sophomores. They'll rank the incoming freshmen. We rank everything. That's how the country and society in general is now. And look, it's irrelevant because the AP poll has very little to do with who makes the playoffs.
I'll say this, though. In a time where content is king, and it's hard to create content. You write one article a week, and then one more a month, and it's brutal.
I write 2 more a month, and it's practically impossible.
And imagine these that have to do multiple a day.
I don't know how they do it.
They're just very intelligent, and they come up with them. So my point is that at some point you got to rank something. You got to talk about something. You got to try to generate some conversation.
I guarantee you, just like I did today, sometimes you're just going to have random thoughts.
Caller, you're on Sportz Blitz.
Hey, guys, it's JJ.
Hey, JJ.
Hey, I'm glad to know there's at least one or two Nick Saban fans out there since he is the most overrated coach in college football. So.
Yeah, okay, JJ, let me tell you about that poll, first of all. I did some investigating about that. They only got like 9 coaches to respond to this thing, and 2 of them called Nick Saban the most overrated. So by default, he was the second most overrated coach in this poll of 9 people. So it takes a little bit of the edge off. He's the most overrated coach. And if he's overrated, then I just give up.
Yeah, I figured it was probably Bielema and Jim Harbaugh maybe. Listen, I was calling guys because this Friday, Luke, you and I have a pretty big deal going on for the 5th year.
True.
The AHSA Radio Network Scoreboard Show is getting ready to get launched.
That's absolutely correct. Can't wait for it. I've already stocked up on coffee. I'm sure you have.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny because I didn't get to do the show last year. I think I did 1 show or 2 shows last year because I had a senior that I wanted to kind of see off the right way. But so it's exciting to kind of get back in it. You get ready to have a little coffee on Friday night. And, the more you get into it, and you know this, Luke, Randy and I talked about this last week on the season preview show, it goes extremely fast when you're in it and doing the show live.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And in fact, JJ, how many times do you have to cut me off because I'm just talking away and you have to cut me off and remind me it's time for a break? It's not like we're just sitting around on our hands waiting for the next break. I mean, we could talk about these games for 2 or 3 more hours. Not that I'm advocating we increase the show time 3 more hours. I'm just saying we could do it if we had to.
Yeah, no doubt, and it's always a lot of fun. And for people who enjoy high school football, it's I think it's I don't know that without tooting our own horn, I don't know that there's a better high school football program in the state of Alabama for sure. And it's just always a lot of fun. But we've added several new affiliates this year. We're over 20 radio stations around the state now. And as a matter of fact, if any of our guys are out there listening, we've added South Alabama. We had a little hole down in there, but WMFC in Monroeville now has joined us. WAAO in Andalusia has joined us now. We're working a deal. It's top secret. I can't get too into it in Tuscaloosa right now. So there's a number of new affiliates this year, a new audience, and people that'll be hearing the show for the first time. So. I'm ready to go come 10 o'clock on Friday night.
I'll throw one little piece of knowledge. I know y'all know about this, but the AHSA this year with the scoreboard will have new technology that is put on each of the scoreboards throughout the state of Alabama. So up-to-date scores will always be there directly at the scoreboard, JJ. And then it becomes, back to our talk, a content talk. Everybody can get a hold of scores. But not everybody can talk to as many play-by-play broadcasters, hosts. Y'all do a wonderful job of reaching around the state of Alabama and making sure that we find out and learn a little bit more about what goes on Friday nights.
And it's really the fun of it, Randy, too, because you get the perspectives of these guys, these veteran play-by-play guys. I mean, we've had a couple of guys that have been on the show with us several times who've been calling football games for 35, 40 years. So when they talk about their perspective of football in their area, it's not from a position of ignorance. These guys have been doing it for decades, and they're wonderful to have on the show. So yeah, anybody can get a score, and we'll definitely give all the scores, and some of them we'll give multiple times. But you're right, Randy. I think the content, the perspective, and the context that some of those guys are able to put into the show because of their experience really means a lot. But anyway, I was just listening to you guys. I thought I'd pass that along, and thank you guys.
Thank you, JJ, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the second hour. Go ahead and take a break. Hope to catch up with Mick Hubert, play-by-play for the Florida Gators, and talk with him coming up here shortly on Sportz Blitz Live.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
At US AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, US AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the US AmeriBank difference. US AmeriBank, banking on values. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control company for a generation, and now we're proud to announce our new name, EnviroCare. You can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs, and EnviroCare's exclusive SentryCon termite colony elimination system that provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. The EnviroCare SentryCon termite protection protects your home year-round. Call the professionals of EnviroCare throughout Central East Alabama. Call for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
A1 Four Seasons, a division of Jackson Refrigeration, is Central Alabama's Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer. With the summer months approaching, the temperatures are rising, and so will your power bill if you don't have one of the latest 410A heat pumps. With R22 Freon prices on the rise, now is the time to make the switch to a new, more efficient unit that will save you hundreds of dollars on your yearly power bill. Call A1 Four Seasons at 256-234-4457. What's behind the CA?
A world full of opportunities.
Where are you now? Where are you going?
Where do you want to be?
These are all important in determining your path in life.
More importantly, why be ordinary
when you can be extraordinary?
At Central Alabama Community College, you can be anything you wish to be.
Don't put your future on hold, and don't settle for less than excellence.
We are Central Alabama Community College.
Central to you.
Central to your success.
Ask what makes it the best 3 Series ever, and we'll tell you it has more advanced suspension and steering, or even more control of the road. And it's near perfectly balanced to put performance first. But ask if we're aware the competition mimics us just to keep up? No comment. The BMW 3 Series.
Visit BMW of Columbus on Whittlesey Boulevard or shop bmwofcolumbus.com.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Alex City Marine, the Lake Martin area's premier new and used boat and motor dealership. Find out more at alexcitymarine.com.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live. Look, if you've ever heard a Florida Gators game on the radio, I know you've heard this gentleman scream out, "Oh my," at least once or twice. And that's Mick Huber, the play-by-play voice of the Florida Gators. Mick, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, and looking forward to next weekend. It's been a long time coming, but hopefully it'll be a good season.
You know, I did not know this, but you just told me that you're entering your 29th year. We just had Eli Gold on. He's entering his 29th year as play-by-play voice of the Crimson Tide, and I guess it's just fate that you two guys have been in the booth the same amount of time, and Florida and Alabama have probably been the 2 preeminent programs in the SEC since you guys have been calling games.
Well, that's right. I've known Eli a long time. He's a wonderful man. I love him to death. He does a great job, and like I said, we go way back. And back when I first got here in the early 90s, Eli was also doing Alabama basketball, so I saw him a little bit more then because he was like you see him in the wintertime, but he's an outstanding announcer. And yeah, we've gone head to head, and it's been a lot of battles. We've won a few, and the Crimson Tide have won a few.
What's it going to take for Jim McElwain to get the respect he deserves? I'm one of the guys that supports him a lot. I feel like he's a great coach that's underappreciated. All he's done in 2 seasons as Florida's head coach is win 2 SEC East championships.
Yeah, that's right. And obviously the East has been down. The West has been stronger. But having said that, the East is there for the taking. And you've got, the guy at Tennessee has been there quite a while, hasn't been able to get over the hump. Mark Richt has been there a long time and couldn't win each of the last 2 years either. And Steve Spurrier had a chance there. He had a great run at South Carolina. But, retired there last year, and then the year before that didn't win it either in 2015. So somehow, some way, Jim McElwain's gotten the Gators into Atlanta twice. Obviously haven't been able to beat Alabama, clearly head and shoulders above everybody else. But to sit there and think that the Gators have won 2 Eastern Division titles with back-to-back offenses that have been downright offensive, not even in the top 100, that speaks to good coaching and great defense and good special teams. Now, obviously, the task this year is for us to improve offensively, and we could improve. If we improve by 50 spots, it'd be a big jump, and yet we'd still only be about, 55 or 60th in the country in offense. But I don't think anybody would complain if we were able to make that kind of a leap this year.
I'm probably about 8 months late asking this question, but we didn't have you on then, so I'm going to ask it now. Was the win at LSU last year, after all the bloviating from the LSU side and the national media side, was that the most satisfying win since, say, maybe one of the national championship games?
Yeah, probably was. Because certainly for a regular season game, there was so much hype going on, and that week leading into the LSU game during the regular season, it was scary around here because that storm was headed really right for Alachua County, right for our campus. Now, it took just a little wiggle and skirted up a little bit north. But the people over in Jacksonville Beach, along the coastline, they got hit really, really hard. I don't think people understand the damage that was made, and that was just with a slight wiggle. If that wiggle of that storm doesn't happen, it's going to come right at us. And, this is as late as Thursday, and, we obviously didn't play the game that weekend. And then, obviously, it's well documented all the back and forth that went on between the two programs. So to go over there, and when we played very well, and be able to beat them on their field and, kind of shut them down a little bit. And yet, we weren't at full strength, really. And somehow, some way, Appleby was able to drop back out of the end zone and throw about a 50-yard pass to Tyree Cleveland and caught it about midfield. And then went the other 50 yards. It was a 98-yard touchdown play. That was the play of the game until they got down to the goal line. And then we stopped them, on 3 or 4 times, I think 4th and goal. And it didn't get them in. And we were able to celebrate right there in their south end zone, the championship. So that was probably, in terms of a regular season win, as significant as any. And then, of course, in the negotiations, they've got to come here for the next 2 seasons. So they did sell out a little bit for that win last year. They didn't get it. So they're here this year, be here again next year. And obviously, you got a little bit of an advantage when you play at home, but it doesn't guarantee anything. I mean, shoot, they could come in here and beat us in the swamp this year. Now, we were fortunate enough to win every game at home last year. That's been kind of Jim McElwain's theory here, or goal, I should say, is, regain the swamp and make it a tough place to play again. So we feel we're taking that step a little bit. And we have a really good home schedule this year, too, with a lot of quality opponents coming in. So, it's going to be interesting.
You mentioned Florida's schedule, and I think one thing that has gotten a lot of talk is that Florida will be playing Michigan this year in Dallas, and it's one of the first times in I don't even know how long Florida is traveling outside the state of Florida to play a non-conference opponent in the regular season. Is this something Florida is going to do on a more regular basis now?
Well, I would say yes and no. I would say yes if ESPN is going to throw $6 or $7 million at them every year, and that's why Florida and Michigan are playing. They're getting about $6 or $7 million to go play the game in Dallas. So obviously that's not going to happen every year. Like I said, this is my 29th year, and I've never had a Florida game on the road to start the year. In fact, we haven't been on the road to start the season since 1987. So it'll be 30 years since we played a road opener In my first year here in 1989, we didn't have any pre-SEC games. There was a quirk in the schedule, and we opened up the '89 season by playing Ole Miss. And Ole Miss beat us in the first game, and I remember that game vividly. We got beat on a pick six kind of later in the game, and the fans were upset, and they were calling in on the talk shows after the game, and dissing everybody. And then I was about halfway home to my house, and one guy called in and said, "Yeah, and the new announcer, he sucks too." That was my first game of my first season, so I thought, uh-oh. So, and then in 1991, we went to Syracuse in about, I think, the second game of the year, second or third game, and a kid from Tampa playing for Syracuse, a kid named Kirby Dardar, runs the opening kickoff back for a touchdown, and we never led in the game, and we got beat. And that was the game. That was the week. This was Steve Spurrier's second year, and it was a week in which he had been. People were starting to pick up on the fact that this guy throws his visor a lot, and so people were saying, you need not to throw that visor. So Steve tried very, very hard all that week not to throw his visor, and we go up there and we get pummeled. Really, I think it was 28-21, but we were never in the lead. It was the biggest game they'd ever had in the history of Syracuse football going into that game in 1991. And after that game, Steve said, "You know what? I'm never going to listen to anybody else ever again. That's who I am. If I throw my visor, so be it." And he continued to throw his visor until his last games. It curtailed a little bit toward the end, but he said, I've got to coach. It was a learning experience for him in terms of I've got to be who I am. I got to coach the way I can coach. I'm not going to listen to everybody else who may not like me throwing a visor. And he had plenty of reason to throw a visor that game, and turned out that was a unique game because I think right after that we did play Alabama in the swamp and beat the Crimson Tide that year 35-0, and it was an SEC title year for us in '91, and so we had some great ones. I go back to the year before that in 1990, which was Steve's first year at Florida. We're playing at Bryant-Denny, and we're trailing 10-0 at the half. And we come out and we end up beating Alabama, I think 17-13. And that was really the game that kind of put Steve on the map a little bit in terms of, hey, Florida had never been able to win that kind of game previously. And they won that game and, of course, had the best record in the league that year. They weren't allowed to claim the SEC championship based on things that had happened back in the late 80s. But Steve never forgot the fact that that was a big win at Alabama in '90. It helped Florida have the best records, and of course they won it in '91. And then '92 they were down a little bit, and we had the great game over at Legion Field in the first ever SEC championship. A tremendous game of Antonio Langham make that pick six and wins the game for Alabama. And then we beat them in '93 over at Legion Field in a great low-scoring game. And then that was it for the SEC title game. Then moved to Atlanta. So we've had some good historic games between the Gators and the Crimson Tide.
Mick, I was at the game in '90. I want to say that's the hottest I've ever been. Then I was at the SEC championship game in '92. That's the coldest I've ever been at a football game. And in '93, I think that was the most drenched I've ever been at a football game. And then finally, when they moved to the Georgia Dome in '94. I was pretty happy that we finally got that Alabama-Florida game into a dome.
Yeah, you know what? I love the Georgia Dome. I mean, selfishly, for a broadcaster, the broadcast booth was in such a great position. You're almost right at the 50-yard line. You're not too high. You're not too low. You felt like if you reach out and almost touch the sideline. I just loved it, and so I hate the fact that last December was the last time we were in it, and I'm sure the new place is going to be nice. But even like Jerry World, these new places now in the NFL, the radio booths are basically in the end zones. So it's harder to call a game when you're in the end zone as opposed to you get used to calling it between the 35-yard lines, so to speak. So I'll be interested to see. Hopefully, we can get back and see the Dome this year. I'm interested in seeing the Jerry World, too. Now, as I mentioned to you earlier, I've been in there 3 times for Gator basketball in the NCAA tournament. It's a wonderful venue, but this will be the first actually going in there for the express purpose of a single football game in that stadium. So it's an interesting matchup, Florida and Michigan. We've never played them 3 times in bowl games and lost all 3. Both head coaches are entering their 3rd year on their programs. So we'll see. I mean, here's a little side note. I tried a couple of weeks ago to get started on the Michigan team, and I looked, couldn't find their roster. So I emailed them and asked if I could have their roster, and they said they're not going to publish a roster till game week. And then about 2 days later, they got called on by the New Jersey paper, I guess, for public information records, and they had to make the roster available, but they said they wouldn't even do it till next week.
I know, it's really, Harbaugh's got some quirks about him that, look, it's good for college football, I think. But, Mick, best of luck to the Gators this year. Hopefully Alabama and Florida will meet up again in Atlanta in the new Mercedes Dome. And, hey, best of luck to y'all. Y'all are going to need it. You open up with Michigan and finish up with Florida State. I can't imagine a tougher schedule sandwich than that.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. Now, like I said, we got a bunch of nice home games, but to start and finish like that, that's tough. We've got to maintain our defense. Our kicking game is very good. We've just got to get better on offense. There's no question about it. And if we can get better offensively, we've got an excellent chance to win the Eastern Division again. And maybe one of these days we'll get over that next hurdle.
Well, talk to us again soon, Mick. We really do appreciate your being with us, and best of luck to you again.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me on. You take care.
That was Mick Huber, the play-by-play voice of the Florida Gators, and man, he just screams out, "Oh my!" And it's so ingrained in college football now. And if you ever listen to a Florida game on the radio, especially when Tim Tebow was at the helm, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.
So you want to build a home? Build the home you want with America's Home Place. Choose from over 150 floor plans, then personalize. Tile backsplash with granite countertops? Done. A spacious bathroom you've always dreamed of? You got it. Choose every detail, floors, cabinets, even the paint color.
How about electric lime?
Can't decide? Relax. At America's Home Place, we take care of it all. It's your home. Own it. America's Home Place.
Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17 season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-2 with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin.
Whether it's a dream house or corporate real estate, Concrete has the skill, expertise, and talent to exceed your expectations. Trust Concrete to build a foundation for your future. Our work ethic and dedication are always in keeping the competition on their toes. We specialize in residential and commercial development in the Coosa, Talladega, and Shelby County areas. Call us today for your next project, 256-245-4211, or check us out on the web at con-crete.com.
There is a strength inside you, unknown and imperfect, waiting. And when you think you have nothing left to give, when each obstacle in your path is more formidable than the last, that's when you'll find it. And with that strength, your greatness will have no limits.
Summertime means savings ton during the summer clearance event at Bice Motors. Save over $8,200 on a great selection of loaded new 2017 Chrysler 200 Limiteds. Was $25,705, now $17,500. Need a truck? Bice has new 2017 Ram 1500 Quad Cab Express 4x2s for $299 a month.
Guaranteed lowest price, or we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Don't miss the summer clearance event going on now. BiceChryslerDodge.com.
And I know when I need it, I can count
down on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
You can count on the caring team at Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation. Our services include physical, speech, and occupational therapy. Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation, 256-329-9061.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, offering a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, electrical, and plumbing supplies. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rate products, and competitive do-it-best pricing.
We had an eclipse.
That's right. I want to thank Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores here in Central Alabama for being the sponsor not only of our Sportz Blitz programming here in this segment, but the AHSA Radio Network. Couldn't do it without them, so I want to thank all of them. Make sure to go out there and shop here locally at Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores. Our Players of the Week, and I just read a college that I've never heard of. But hopefully Gabby Johnson will do a tremendous job there from Talladega High School for our Talladega County Player of the Week. The graduating senior basketball player is committed to playing football for Atlanta Metropolitan State College next season. Ever heard of that?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some SEC schools get them on the schedule.
Our sponsor of the Talladega County Player of the Week's Concrete there on Highway 280. Can't thank them enough as well.
Let's move over to the Interleague Mortgage Services Sportz Blitz League County Player of the Week, and that's Mohamed Dabete. I believe I'm saying that correct. I'm not 100%. If I'm not, I apologize. Auburn High School, of course. The rising junior safety stands at 6'4" and 215 pounds and was named the number 16 Southern Alabama prospect by AL.com. He holds offers from Auburn, Arkansas, Vandy, and Mississippi State.
Wonderful size, 6'4", 215. That's tremendous.
For a safety, that's great.
That's saying something. Our Sportz Blitz AISA Player of the Week brought to you by Lyman Ward Military Academy. 119 years they started school today, founded in 1898. I can't thank Lyman Ward enough for being our sponsor of the AISA Player of the Week. Is Reed Genwright from Pike Liberal, finished 5 for 7 passing with 192 yards and touchdowns of 65, 64, and 15 yards, and also added a 91-yard touchdown run in the 47-6 win over Kingwood Christian. So congratulations to Pike Liberals, Reed Genwright.
The LMG Lee Marketing Group River Region Player of the Week is Kowaliga Smoke. Best name in high school, all of high school, maybe all of sports. From Wetumpka High School, the 6', 200-pound incoming senior running back was named the number 12 South Alabama prospect by AL.com and holds offers from Florida, Kentucky, and Missouri. And here's the thing, if Auburn misses out on Asa Martin from Decatur, the Austin High School product, if they miss out on him Thursday, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they turn up the heat on Kowaliga Smoke. You like my pun there?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's move over to the AHSA Radio Network Player of the Week, again brought to you by Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores. Conus Miller from Jackson Olin High School, incoming senior defensive end, was named the number 3 player in the state by AL.com. Stands 6'3", 290, has scholarship offers from nearly all major Division I schools as a two-way star.
Very strong player. And then the Lee Apparel East Alabama Player of the Week is Triquezy Bridges. From Lynette High School, the junior safety is AL.com's number 18 Southern Alabama prospect. He holds offers from Alabama, Florida, and Florida Atlantic, coached by Lane Kiffin.
And we'll close out our Players of the Week with the Sportz Blitz Lake Martin Area Player of the Week, brought to you by Sign Source. And this is a player that we're looking forward to calling not only this week but in the years to come, is Brett Pitts from Benjamin Russell High School. The incoming sophomore has turned heads during fall practices at linebacker and expects to play a key role on the Wildcats' revamped defense. So congratulations to Brett Pitts, only a sophomore, but a tremendous all-around athlete for Benjamin Russell High School. Go ahead and take a break here on Sportz Blitz Live. When we come back, we'll continue down our list, talk a little bit more about Florida as we're heading off and closing out our SEC highlights. And great, by the way, great interview with Mick Hubert. And
He was awesome. Man, you talk about loaded with personality. And again, if you have never heard a Florida radio broadcast, when they have a big play and he yells out that, "Oh my," it's awesome. It's college football.
256-234-6221. More Sports Blitz live right after this.
Lakeside Marina and Watercraft Rentals have spring fever and are happy to announce that Bennington is back. Lakeside Marina at Blue Creek is now Lake Martin's Bennington pontoon dealer with all models of Bennington pontoons that deliver speed, power, and stability with their elliptical sport packages and best-in-class styling and luxury. See the full line now for best selection as well as the all-new personal watercraft from Kawasaki. Lakeside Marina at Blue Creek, #1 for a reason. Lakeside Marina is also your authorized Easy Go kart dealer for Lake Martin.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Lyman Ward Military Academy is currently accepting applications for fall enrollment, with cadets reporting on August 19th. New drone and STEM programs added to the curriculum for the 2017 and 18 school year. If you're looking for structure, one-on-one academic help, athletic excellence, as well as leadership training, Lyman Ward is the school for you. For more information, visit our website at lwma.org or call our admissions director, Wynn Fletcher, at 256-675-6269.
Did your team just win the big game? Are you looking for a unique way to honor a valuable employee? Lila's Engraving has you covered, offering a large selection of custom trophies and plaques. Lila's also offers cast aluminum car tags, custom engraved wine glasses, clocks, and wood cutting boards. They even offer custom framing for any art or picture as well. Lila's combines the best quality items with the fastest service around. With over 27 years of experience in the Alexander City and Lake Martin areas, Lila's Engraving is your only choice for custom awards and engraved gifts. Always remember, winners choose Lila's.
Whether it's a walk-off home run, a game-winning touchdown, or a buzzer beater, make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup. Located in downtown Sylacauga and a short drive from Highway 280, Jay's has the food you're looking for. Whether it's wings, fingers, burgers, or salads, they have it all. Come bring your family for a great meal, come hang out with your friends for the big game, or call them at 256-207-0700 to place your order. Make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Glenn Smith Automotive, carrying a full line of vehicle brands from Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and Toyota. Highway 280 in Sylacauga and Columbus Parkway in Opelika. Glenn Smith, get ready to smile.
Little true or false. Alabama will lead the SEC in rushing in 2017.
It's tricky. I'm going to say true. Because I think they're going to go back to more of that style a little bit. They've got the wide receivers to do more, but in the end, you've got a running quarterback, and you've got probably 5 running backs that could play for anybody in the league. So, yeah, I'm going to say true.
Fill in the blank. The only vulnerability, that word didn't want to come out, this Alabama team has is?
Field goal kicking. And it sounds like a cop-out. It sounds like, we're only missing a field goal kicker. No, it's a horrible thing. It's a bad, bad thing. This Alabama team, this program has lost so many games. Of the games that they've lost, they haven't lost a lot of games, but of those games, a lot of them were lost because of lack of a solid field goal kicker in important games. And games have been tighter because they don't have a good field goal kicker at times. So, yeah, it's a big deal.
Over-under. one 15-yard penalty on Nick Saban for arguing this season.
Oh, God, over. I mean, it's so over. How much? One? Andy made this one? Playoffs? No, look, that's ridiculous. It's going to go over.
What's the chances Jalen Hurts runs for 1,000 yards and throws for 3,000 yards?
I mean, 10%. That's just not going to happen. He threw for 2,780 yards or something last year. He played 15 games. And he ran for 900 and something yards. And again, he played 15 games. So he had the most games a college player can have and didn't do it. And now I think Alabama's going to go less hurry-up style, so fewer opportunities. So I'm going to say that's not going to happen.
Give me a word for Alabama's schedule in 2017.
Manageable. When you think Florida State's tough, okay, no doubt about it. That's I'm not taking them lightly in the leagues. They can easily beat Alabama. That game could go either way. And then at Auburn is going to be tricky. Right now it looks tricky. I mean, if Auburn's wheels fall off, it may not be that tricky, but it could be tricky. It's the second scariest game on Alabama's schedule. Other than that, I mean, what gives you the heebie-jeebies? At A&M with a newbie quarterback? Not really. I mean, Alabama hasn't lost there yet. LSU coming into Tuscaloosa, with Ed Orgeron and Etling trailing behind him? No, I'm not worried about that one. Mississippi State, Ole Miss, I mean.
Nah. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, you're on Sportz Blitz.
This is Brian.
Hey, Brian. How are you, buddy?
One fishing they caught 6 friends and 1 catfish.
Well, are you cooking them?
No, they're too small.
Too small.
What are you catching them in?
15-0.
What?
I got Alabama going in 15-0 this year.
All right. Well, I'm kind of like Nick Saban. Why are we even going to play then?
I got Alabama winning by 15 over Seminole Florida State.
By 15?
31-16, Bama.
What's the line?
7.5. That seems high to me. Brian, thank you so much for the phone call. We appreciate it, buddy.
Okay, Rose, the War Eagle.
Well, look at him.
How'd he pull
Look
that
at he's
off?
going on both sides of the fence. Who thought that Brian could be the one to bring us together?
He's been calling for 12 years.
Easily. I think he's been calling for 13. Now, we've only been on the air 12.
We enjoy Brian's calls. Thank you, buddy. And he has officially won more predictions than anyone, probably times 2 or 3.
You know, I'm still going back to how creepy it was in 2009 when he said Alabama beats Texas for a national championship. And we said, you're out of your mind. Lo and behold.
It's helped that Alabama's been really good, though, for these predictions.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, it's held him out. When you're an Alabama fan and every year you predict Alabama win the championship, I mean, you got a pretty good shot at it.
One more question for you, and we'll close out on Alabama. What will Alabama's record be in 2017?
I mean, I'm going to say 14-1. I don't know where they lose. Maybe first game, but I can't predict 15-0. I just can't do it. But I think they do win a national championship.
We'll go ahead and take another break here on Sports Blitz Live. We'll take your phone calls as well, 256-234-6221. More Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loans. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
Your comfort is our #1 concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's Trane dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our #1 concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you.
Show Enough Barbecue. Since 1990, we've been serving you the finest barbecue in Alexander City. Gerald believes in cooking fresh meat daily, and the secret to that is, I'm not going to tell you. Show Enough is just not about barbecue, but also known for fresh vegetables and homemade pies. That's where I come in. I'm Linda Sanford, better known as the Pie Lady. We also do catering. For more information, give us a call at 234-7675.
Hello, I'm Harvey B. Campbell Jr., the manager and founding partner of Alabama Consumer Law, LLC. We are a law firm dedicated to helping you, the consumer, from all kind of debt issues. We can handle Chapter 13s, Chapter 7s, and Chapter 12s, and Chapter 11s if you need help.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers. We are a debt relief agency. We are a private company. We are not associated with any state or federal government agency.
Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gills. Selection and price, got to get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills. Cars that fit your budget. Service that no one around can beat. Stop by today and test drive the vehicle of your dreams. Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance you. Gotta get to Gills. Selection and price. Gotta get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Hyundai of Auburn. You owe it to yourself. Call Hyundai of Auburn today at 334-321-0777 and visit them online at HyundaiofAuburn.com.
Let's do a little question and answer for the Florida Gators now.
I dig it.
Let's start with true or false. The quarterback that starts the year against Michigan will finish the year.
I got to say false because they've got three guys that are vying for that position right now. And I think that it could be like a Blake Barnett, Jalen Hurts situation. You may get Malik Zaire in there and he doesn't do well, so you bring in Felipe Franks or Luke Del Rio, or some other combo in there. You start Del Rio and Zaire comes in or whatever. But I don't think the guy who starts the Michigan game will finish the season.
Del Rio, when he was playing before injury last year.
It was okay.
Turn your head?
Nah.
Not
He was
really?
okay. He was
Okay.
okay.
All
I mean, he was a walk-on at Alabama for a reason. I mean, he was a preferred walk-on. He wasn't a scholarship guy.
Gotcha. Fill in the blanks. The most critical game on the Gators' schedule is?
Well, this is going to sound a little goofy, but I think it might be Florida State. They have not shown up for that game against the Seminoles here, and that may be the game they really need. Now, if you're just talking about winning the SEC in terms of getting back to Atlanta, et cetera, I think for the fan base, Florida State's probably it. But for the SEC championship vying for that, I'm going to say it's probably Georgia. I think they got to beat Georgia. I think they will beat Tennessee. I think Tennessee's going to be very down this year. I'm not high on them at all. So I think the Florida-Georgia game could decide the East.
Over under 400 total yards of offense per game. They had 344 last year.
I still got to go under until they show me otherwise. Until they can see that Antonio Callaway won't be in some kind of Ponzi scheme or get in some other kind of trouble, I'm not going to believe it. So I need to know he's going to be there after this suspension, of course, which I guess is only the Michigan game. He's going to have to show me that he can be there. He's their most potent weapon. I like their running game, but there's no superstar. You look at, for instance, I think they've got a good group of running backs, but Alabama's got a good group of running backs. But when I think about Alabama's, I'm like, look, if I had to give it to Bo Scarborough, I'd feel comfortable, and he can break it away. LaMichael Pirine isn't a breakaway back. Jordan Scarlett isn't necessarily the breakaway back. They're both very good, very consistent, get hard yards, but I don't think of them as the guys going to go 80 on you.
Florida wins the East for the third year in a row.
Was the chances? I'm going to say it's about a 40% chance, which is not bad. It's not bad at all because I would say Georgia's probably about 40% and anybody else is 20%.
Tennessee, no.
I'm going to say Tennessee has a 0.0% chance of winning these. Look, they play LSU at home from the West, and of course they play at Tuscaloosa. I don't think they can win either one of those games. Then they got to go to Florida. I don't think they're winning that game. I don't think they can beat Georgia. I don't care where they play them. So there's 4 losses in conference right there, and I'm not sure they can get by Kentucky. Vandy beat their brakes off last year.
Anybody from that side, and I know that we've already gone down this, but South Carolina, Kentucky, anyone like that?
South Carolina can be sneaky good. Love Jake Bentley. You know about him. You
yeah.
saw him play for Opelika several times, and I think that kid's going to do nothing but get better and better and better. And everybody loves to talk about Jalen Hurts, and they love to talk about Jarrett Stidham and Austin Allen or Fitzgerald at Mississippi State, Patterson at Ole Miss. Jake Bentley is the dark horse to win SEC Player of the Year.
Word for the future of Florida football under Jim McElwain.
Consistent. I mean, not sexy. I mean, because they just don't win sexy ball games. They go out there and sometimes they bore you to death and they win. You know, Gene Stallings style. But they win. He's been in the league 2 years coaching, and he's won the East both times. Now, cut it any way you want to. That's the bottom line.
Let's close out Florida. Looking into the future, what will Florida's record be in 2017?
I guess I will say the neighborhood of 9-3. Let's go 9-3. I don't think they'll beat Florida State, and I think they may lose 2 conference games, but they still win the East.
One last question on Florida. Jim McElwain, are you still a little bit surprised that in year 3 he hasn't been able to at least get a semblance of a solid offensive play since he's an offensive guy?
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but he wasn't exactly left with a full cupboard like people thought. And I'll tell you the most disappointing thing about Jim McElwain, far and away to me, isn't the lack of offense. It isn't the lack of developing a quarterback. It's the fact that he didn't embrace that shark thing from earlier this year. He should have just put your arms around that thing. He should have come to SEC Media Days with like a big inflatable shark with his shirt off. You gotta, if you try to run from that or talk about, oh, I don't even understand what everybody's laughing about, then they are going to make it worse. But if you embrace it, it's just like, you ever watch the Comedy Central roasts, like Justin Bieber? You know, he sits up there and they just verbally destroy him for 2 hours. And then at the end, he gets up and, you know, makes a few jokes and is like, hey, I really enjoyed this. I mean, I probably deserve some of it. And everybody hugs him and talks about what a great guy he is. Justin Bieber, he's a jerk. But somehow he's a hero because he was a martyr for a second. Jim McElwain walks into SEC Media Days and acts like, you know, somebody did something to his Cheerios, and all he had to do was say, you know what was really funny? I'm glad I just got off a fishing boat with a bunch of sharks. And or if he had come with inflatable shark with like a bikini on or something, that would have been so funny.
Oh, man.
The shark with the bikini, not him with the bikini.
256-234-6221 is our phone number. Go ahead and take another break. When we come back, we'll have one last, and we'll have a rank 'em. You want to do rank 'em?
I'm down.
We'll close out with rank 'em. More of Sports Blitz Live right after this.
My parents saved a bunch of money on their new car. My dad said we got a better car for less money. My mom's wildly happy. We even saved enough to get a new swing set. This saving money thing is really cool.
And right now, during the Honda Summerbration sales event at Sarah Honda, get model year-end clearance pricing on all remaining 2017s. Save up to $3,100 off MSRP. Visit us today at Sarah Honda of Sylacauga.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Hey, it's Steve from the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn, and after 10 years of serving the good people of East Alabama and West Georgia, we're still doing business the same way, offering the best products at the best prices with the area's best warranties and installing them with the area's best technicians. With great customer service, a knowledgeable sales staff, and our commitment to customer satisfaction, along with the best selection of the latest technology in the industry, there's no reason to shop anywhere else. Shop with confidence. Shop at the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn.
When you're born, you're really young. You're like 0 years old. My grandma tells me to quit growing up so fast. But what can I do about it? My mom keeps throwing me birthday parties.
Russell Medical, comprehensive care in your corner of the world.
Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. At Walls, you'll find a dedicated staff offering top quality service from routine maintenance to a full engine overhaul and everything in between. Brian Walls and the folks at Walls Tire are local folks that you know, and they provide the best service, always at a fair price. Find out what the rest of the Lake Martin area already knows. Walls Tire is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. Just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
I've got to think that Andy Graham on this first rank 'em left Alabama out on this first question.
Yeah, just to irritate me. I've already noticed it.
Okay, well, so I just noticed it as well, but rank them. 95 Nebraska, 96 Florida, 99 Florida State, 01 Miami, or 04 USC.
Well, I'm going to say 01 Miami, first of all. That team was pretty ridiculous. But there's something that keeps telling me 95 Nebraska would have a good shot because they just beat Florida's brains in. 95 Nebraska would probably be my second choice. And then 04 USC, but it's close. I mean, 04 USC was strong too. And I'm going to go 99 Florida State and 96 Florida. I don't know that 96 Florida needs to be even on this list. I think Andy only did that to irritate me.
Which Alabama team should be on this list?
11 Alabama. I mean, 09 Alabama was good, and they went undefeated, but that 11 Alabama team, they shut out the team that beat them, and LSU didn't score a touchdown on them all year long. And they just, you think about the players that were on that team. Drake Kirkpatrick's still in the NFL. Dante Hightower, who is still in the NFL and doing pretty big things. A.J. McCarron is still in the NFL. I know he's only a backup. He's still in the NFL. I mean, that was a disgusting team.
So the 11 teams,
I think that the 12 team was pretty strong too because Amari Cooper had come on the scene then. He was a true freshman. I could put 12 there too. And the 12's loss came to Texas A&M with Johnny Manziel when Johnny Manziel was just out of his mind, and Alabama had just come off that real emotional victory at LSU, so I kind of give them a pass for that. Either 12 Alabama or 11 Alabama.
Okay, rank them. Caddyshack, Kingpin, Dodgeball, Slapshot, The Water Boy.
Okay, first of all, Caddyshack is in such a different category from all these. It's so much better than these other movies. You can watch Caddyshack right now. You can even watch the edited version, the non-R-rated version, where they don't show you all the good stuff, and it's still hilarious. It's hilarious on every level. It's probably the most quoted movie between my brother and me, and we quote a lot of movies. So Caddyshack is, in fact, when he was at Georgia Tech, they had their pledges. They would give a test on Caddyshack, like the most mundane minutia about the movie. And it's Caddyshack's worlds above the rest. And then I'm going to go with an upset Dodgeball because that movie has aged so well, like a fine wine. It really has aged well. And then I'm going to say Kingpin. Slapshot, I mean, it's old and it didn't do much for me. And I think The Waterboy is one of the most overrated funny films because I'm just not a big Adam Sandler fan. He's the same character all the time.
Which one are you guessing Andy likes the best out of
Probably
this?
The Waterboy. That seems kind of Andy-ish.
Okay.
What do you think?
He's going to tell us shortly. He's watching right now, I'm sure.
I know. I'm going to say he's going to go opposite of me because we're generally opposite.
Okay, rank them. Captain Crunch, Tricks, Count Chocula, wow, Sugar Smacks, and Lucky Charms.
Okay, Sugar Smacks is the bottom. Like, I don't even know if they make that anymore. It's just diabetes in a box. Captain Crunch is underrated, but I'm going to have to go Count Chocula 1. Like, do you remember when they had Boo Berry and Count Chocula and Frankenberry? Like, all those were pretty awesome, and I really, Count Chocula, I'm going to give them all, like, they're a triumvirate. So I'm going to give them number 1, Lucky Charms 2, because there was nothing better than your mom getting a box of Lucky Charms and picking out all the marshmallow ones. Those really dry, terrible marshmallows. But at the time when we were eating them, they were just awesome. It's kind of like that time Homer Simpson was digging out all the chocolate from the Neapolitan ice cream, and he would always say, "Hey, Marge, we need some more Neapolitan ice cream," because everybody's just eating the chocolate. Just buy chocolate. If Lucky Charms had just sold the marshmallows, they'd be billionaires.
They would be.
General Mills or whoever it was. And then I'm going to go Trix. That rabbit always got on my nerves.
Oh, man. Okay, rank them. Now, Brett Pritchard has this one number 1. Anything that Toto is.
He's a Toto fan.
He's a big Toto fan. So, Rosanna from Toto, Billie Jean from Michael Jackson, Layla from Eric Clapton, Sarah from Starship, or Amanda from Boston.
I mean, Billie Jean's got to be number 1, right? I mean, Billie Jean, and then I think Rosanna's 2, but Layla 3, Amanda 4, and Sarah. I mean, Sarah's Starship. That was so. They were Jefferson Airplane and Jefferson Starship and then just Starship. And it was just goofy to me. I never got into them. I didn't like a lot of their stuff. We built this city on rock and roll. How goofy is that? How bad were the 80s?
Rank them. Anchorman, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, Old School, The Other Guys.
Anchorman is got to be 1 here to me. And then I think Old School, I didn't even see The Other Guys because it looked so terrible. I'm going to go Step Brothers and then Talladega Nights. I think everybody in these parts loves Talladega Nights just because of Talladega, and I thought it wasn't nearly as good as Anchorman is just fantastic.
All right, rank them chewing gum as we close this out. Big Red, Juicy Fruit, Double Mint, Spearmint, or Fruit Stripe?
I've got to put Fruit Stripe last because I'm not 100% sure they still make it. I know they make Double Mint and Spearmint because it's in terrible vending machines if you go to a bad gas station. So those 2 would be next. And then I'd say Juicy Fruit. Man, Juicy Fruit in the day, that was like the Cadillac of chewing gums. And then Big Red's always good after you eat like at a Greek restaurant or something. You got to get some of that out.
Let's close out AHSA. We've got the scoreboard show this Friday night. Goes through the quarterfinals. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're going to cut it 1 week shorter this year, which I think is smart. I mean, look, when you get in that far into the playoffs, you can only talk about the same score so many times. But it's still going to be the most comprehensive coverage in the state. We're going to put as much or more effort into it than anybody does in the state. And I think it's been an undersold market in Alabama is just having a really good scoreboard show on the radio.
Yeah, over 20 radio stations. Jeremy Jeffcoat hosting along with Luke Robinson. AL.com picks it up, AHSA.com. You've got a number of different outlets to be able to pull that in. So make sure if you're out there and you've got a local radio station, call in, thank them. We'll be over in Montgomery this week, Thursday and Friday night, calling the Champions Challenge event. Y'all be there on Thursday, calling 2 of the best teams in the state of Alabama in Maplesville and 5 taking on one another. That's at 7 o'clock. You can pull that in again, AL.com, AHSA.com, and a number of different radio stations throughout the state of Alabama. And Brett Pritchard and myself will be over on Friday night to call Hewitt Trustful, taking on a Keith Etheridge-coached Pell City team. Looking forward to that. Luke, high school football's here. We love it. We love talking Auburn and Alabama as well, but high school football is really where our bread is buttered this time of year because we kind of pride ourselves with this program of giving coverage, giving comprehensive coverage here in the state of Alabama when many don't.
Absolutely right, and I feel like I say this every year, but this year the state of Alabama is loaded with recruits. If recruiting is your thing and you're not so much tied into a certain team, this is going to be a fun year for you. I'm going to see Nathaniel Watson from Maplesville already committed to Mississippi State. This is a guy that's an Auburn legacy, but I think Auburn's been waffling about whether or not to offer big, powerful, strong wide receiver type who might play more tight end or maybe even on defense at the next level. But Mississippi State's coming into Alabama doing some good things again.
Last little note out there, you think LaDamian Webb can follow up what he did last year. I think that's a big storyline as he breaks the state rushing mark last year, goes 55 rushes for 350 some odd yards in the state championship game for Beauregard. Hard to believe someone could back that up, but he's got the talent to do it. Looking
Also
forward to
committed
watching.
to Mississippi State.
Yep. Mississippi State done a tremendous job the last 3 or 4 years.
Keith Mixon from Shades
Yeah.
Valley, I had a man crush on him. I just thought he was fabulous. I thought Alabama and Auburn missed the boat, and he's a sophomore this year, and he's going to contribute.
We'll go ahead and close out the program here tonight. I want to thank Ryan back there in the production studio, Luke Robinson. I'm Randy Lee saying thanks for tuning in to Sports Blitz Live. What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, Sign Source, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
The door is open, the beer's cold, and the biscuits are hot at Foshee Sportz on Dable Road in Alexander City. Fishing season is in year-round and live bait is available. Non-ethanol gas is available along with propane and pellet ice. So come on by and see what we're all about, where the kitchen is open Monday through Friday early at Foshee Sportz on Dable Road in Alexander City. And tell them old Katie sent you right here from the front porch, WAXC TV.
Your comfort is our #1 concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's train dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our #1 concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you.
Lake Area Realty is Lake Martin's Century 21 real estate company that proudly serves all the Lake Martin area. Rhonda Gaskin and her staff of caring professional realtors offers full sales for buyers and sellers in the area and can even help you with finding rentals or managing your current property. Whether it's your dream lake home, waterfront property, area family home in town, or just a starter home, Lake Area Realty can handle it all and advise you on all your needs. Buying and selling real estate is important to the professionals at Century 21. Lake Area Realty are your friends in real estate. Call or visit lakearearealty.net.
If you had $6,000, how would you spend it?
I'd pay bills.
How about a new car?